Chase, somehow, some way, we have made it to December, and this is the last non-game of the year episode that we are doing, which is crazy to say out loud.
Yeah.
I know we say this a lot. This year has sincerely flown by. This year has been one of the fastest I can remember. And considering some of the bullshit this year has brought, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
I will not, despite some games being good, I will be perfectly okay with this year being put in the rear view.
Yep. Yippers, man. Well, we are here because it is the 448th episode of the Casual Hour. We are recording this live on Twitch and YouTube at 9 p.m. Central Time on the 3rd of December. And we are going to tell you about a lot of video games tonight. We have some big updates on what you've been playing, more than we normally do, and that's because December, to the surprise of no one, is not full of new games releasing.
Well, not yet anyway. I mean, again, we see lots of stuff happen at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
there's people who do secret drops, so there certainly will be more in December.
There's always more stuff.
There was a new Destiny expansion, Bobby.
There's a new Elden Ring Night Rain expansion.
That's also true. We're not going to talk about either of them.
No. But there are a lot of new games in December we will discuss. There are some free things that we will be discussing. We'll look back at our picks from November and see if we got it right. Almost assuredly not. But in the spirit of time and partnership, let's get into what we have been playing, because there's a lot of new here, Chase. I just want to mention I've really been enjoying Arc Raiders. I've talked a lot about it on here. Chase finally stepped in to see what the fuss was about on Monday night where we streamed it. So you can go and watch that VOD over on YouTube or Twitch and see what we got into. It was a good discussion, but there'll be more of that talk in the weeks to come and maybe even some more streams in the future of that one. But Chase, I've played 2 new games. One, I can't remember if I talked about like a demo or a playtest of, but anyway, I've played Demon's School and I've played Moonlighter 2: The Endless Vault. Which game would you like to hear about first?
I'm dying. I'm dying.
Literally dying.
I'm dying. I would like to hear about Demon's School because I'm excited about potentially playing that myself.
Yeah, I am right around 3 hours into Demon's School, which doesn't feel monumental at this point. There's still a lot of things like systems I haven't unlocked yet within the game. There are like the whole leveling up your characters and some of the things that you can do there I haven't really gotten to dip into yet. So this is a very early take on Demon's School for everybody. I don't think there'll be a lot of spoilery stuff. I certainly won't be talking about story beats, but I do want to call out, like right out of the gate, I saw a review for this one that said, yeah, it's just Persona and Into the Breach. And I was like, oh, okay.
Just
like, those two things?
No, just about it. That's incredible. That's an incredible combination of video games, right?
So yeah, and I think that's a pretty good descriptor of what this game is. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this is a very cool looking pixelated, I dare I call it a JRPG. I think it's probably that. Like that's fair to a degree.
I think, it's at least pulling from that genre.
Yeah, absolutely. It is turn-based.
Some purists out there say that JRPGs have to be made in Japan.
That's fair.
And I guess I'm not one of those people, but I am one of those people that thinks anime has to be made in Japan. And if it's so, I don't know.
I mean, I like Netflix's anime. But what I'll say is, I think this game is cool. I think this game has a lot of potential. I am still kind of wrestling with some of the game systems and like weakness exploitation and stuff of that. Like much like I was when I played my first Persona game. Like, that was my first one of those, and I was still learning about.
What is Bufu good against?
Yeah, 100%.
Zio good against? Yeah.
I think that you'll either immediately dig what's going on, or you might be a bit more cautious about like what's happening here. The writing so far has not been too tween. It's not been overtly trying to be like really dumb, funny stuff, but it's definitely more like kind of zany and like just like it's teen shit. Like the main character is very much who was the dude from Persona 5 with the skull mask?
Ryuji.
you know how Ryuji was. Like the
Sure.
main character that you play is very Ryuji like.
Okay.
But it is the social beat. Like you're going to your classroom, you can talk to a few people. There's main quests. I haven't gotten to the point yet where it's like, hey, all right, you know the systems, you know the loop, like spend your time how you want to. It's still kind of guiding you towards the main quest stuff and pushing you through it. Hey, here's a quiz for you. You need to get these questions right. I mean, it's very Persona there. The combat is where I think you're either going to love it or hate it. And I think where they are getting into the breach is twofold. One, it is on a grid, and it's kind of that tilted isometric view like Into the Breaches. But it's all about maneuvering. And I think if you approach this game's combat as like, this is just a puzzle game, you'll probably have a better time. If you go into it thinking like this is straight up turn-based combat, you're going to be a little disappointed, because there is like every time you start a match or restart a match, it's the same placement. Like you can rearrange, so to speak, like where your character's at in a straight line, but that doesn't matter too much. And you get like 6 action points that are shared across all of your characters. I have 4 right now. It does look like there's going to be more to choose from, but it looks like only 4 will be available to be on the battlefield at a time.
Okay.
So I have like 2 characters that don't even do damage, which is interesting. One is healing, and the other can phase through people and kind of put them in a stunned state. But based on where you position your characters on this map, they do special attacks, or they do combo attacks, and they build up to a special. So the main character can kick through basically like a line of 4 people and move to the end of that line if they want to, which is pretty rad. So if you put your one character who downs people through first, followed up with your character that can kick through everybody, you kind of get this comic booky all out attack moment on the screen where you do a joint attack and just kill everybody. But it's all planning. So you're doing all this in a planning state. So you can commit to it, uncommit to it, but then when you hit the execute button, it goes into kind of a cutscene. Think at the end of a Fights in Tight Spaces where you watch a recap. You get to see it unfold. So you're just planning and then you're watching it in real time. So that's kind of cool because it's very slow when you're doing it, but then it's like, oh, this is a real-time battle, but it's not. So I'm enjoying it. I haven't really cracked it yet where I feel like I've mastered all the mechanics and placement. I'm still learning a bit about who to leverage for what type of enemy and what that will look like. The other thing is at the end of yours, there is kind of a banner that can be, if they break through that, if the enemy gets through your defense, the match is over. So there is this like keeping them from passing through while meeting the criteria, which it's usually like, hey, kill 12 people or down 12 people. And once you do that, you have to get to their end of the map. And then once you get one character there, you all exit the fight. And there's a score up to 3 stars, and it'll give you a good little breakout of it. Story's been pretty cool so far. It is maybe not my style of like writing and story so far, but the drama is ramping up and the relationship stuff seems pretty cool so far. But yeah, I think you'll like it. I really do. The art's there. The music's really good. Writing is a little weak, I think. But you watch a lot more anime than I do, so maybe this is just anime.
I tolerate more of that garbage than you do. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, I've been a little on the fence about this game, partially because I wasn't completely sold on the aesthetics, both from a look standpoint and a style standpoint. The kind of demoness part of the thing is not necessarily my bag. I know I played like Persona, and those are technically demons as well, but there's just something about the designs that I wasn't as excited about seeing this game initially. But from the things that they're pulling from in a like a tactical game sense, like you mentioned, Persona and Into the Breach, that stuff sounded really compelling to me. Hearing that it's more like puzzle based almost, or more about like solving, like almost like those chess puzzles that you see in the newspaper.
Yes.
Where it's like, just, hey, figure out how in 4 moves to like get checkmate. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. And that reminds me a little bit of the Persona Tactics game,
Sure.
which also
Yeah.
had some of that. Hey, get all your people in the position to be able to do the cover fire, triangle attack, whatever. And just every fight was kind of, how do you position my guys to get into that perfect spot? And so that also had kind of a puzzle atmosphere as well to it. And I fell off that game. But I still want to try this one out. I don't know if I'm going to get to it before Game of the Year time, but it is intriguing to me, and I'm glad you played it, and at least somebody here played it and had some opinions on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be on your radar. I imagine it'll be on your list, or your wheel, I should say. But it's, I don't know if it's on Switch or not. This is $25.
I believe it is.
Necrosoft Games developed it. It's I don't know what else they've done.
I don't know if they've done anything else.
They've done a few, it looks like. Gun House was another one that they did, and Hyper Gun Sport. This one seems to be hitting pretty hard. It's an overwhelmingly positive on Steam right now. But the other game that I have been spending some time with that I have really enjoyed is Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault. This is out in early access right now. They kind of did the Risk of Rain 2 treatment to Moonlighter. They moved from a 2D pixel game to an isometric 3D game. I think the game is gorgeous. It's got juice. The movement looks good. All the effects look really cool. This is great, man. Like, it's Moonlighter. You have a handful of weapons that you can choose to use on a run. And there is this big cryptic vault that once you sell enough money in your shop, which is the other part of this game, you are doing dungeon crawling, getting items that bring back a different rarity and sell them at your store, make profit to upgrade shit, including expanding your shop now. And then you go out and find new stuff. As you expand and open this vault, it lets you go into other areas and new levels that have different enemy types, different drops. The whole premise is you're going to get all the way through a run. So it's stop me if you've heard this, a dot here for an encounter, a dot here for a question mark, a dot here. So it's basically just a run-based map now that you can choose through with a big boss battle at the end of it. And I'm proud to let you know, Chase, I've gotten pretty good at this, and I've beaten every boss so far. I've had very, very successful runs on this. My shop is flourishing. I've made a lot of money so far.
Do you think you're good at it because you've gotten better at these kinds of games, or is it more you were really good at Moonlighter, or you got really good at Moonlighter?
I never could beat bosses very well in Moonlighter, but I think it's both. I've gotten better at these types of games. I think Hades really helped me be good at this. It's not as twitchy as Hades, but it is, depending on the weapon you're using, because you can have daggers, you always have a gun, you can have a short sword, you can have a broadsword, you can have a spear. And so there are benefits too. They do this cool thing where you can unlock an extra perk where if you use the highlighted weapon on this run, your artifacts you bring back have a higher value. So like, that's a cool thing to get you to use new shit. But I do think it's a bit of both of those. And it's cool because when you beat a boss, you get a recipe and a part, and you get to bring that back and make a weapon or an armor piece based off of the big boss battle. And that's allowed me to go further into it. This is the very early beginnings of this game, and I think there's a long early access period planned for it where they're going to add even more to it. It's really good, man. I would love to show this one to you. I think this would be a fun Monday night game for you to check out. And I think that you would probably like it. Based off of what you enjoyed in Hades, and maybe I think you played Moonlighter, right?
I did not, but I was always on the fence about potentially playing it. So it was one I think I had on my wish list for a while, and contemplated getting it during various sales, and just never ended up pulling the trigger. But I'm not opposed to it at all. Now I do wonder, when you're saying they did the Risk of Rain 2 treatment. It sounds like that's more about the visuals going from a 2D to 3D thing. Do you feel like the upgrades or the new stuff in here is mostly limited to the visuals, or do you think they've done
there
a lot
are some different shop things there?
Well?
The combat feels a little different just due to the new force perspective and how you have more verticality to what you're doing. So like, you might have enemies that are flying above you. You might have enemies on a ridge. shooting at you. So there are some new challenges that come with that, but also some new ways to like mitigate it at the same time. I think the other really cool thing about it, so there's like three things that happen. You have your dungeon crawling, fighting like Hades. You have the shopkeeping where you're placing items, setting the price, working like, hey, this week you're going to get more money if you sell artifacts of a rare quality from this biome. Cool, I'll go get those. Or you can save them and then pull them out when there's a bigger sale going. You also now can upgrade, like this pedestal gives you an extra 20% tip if you sell a green item on it. So then you kind of like plan that stuff out and you can upgrade your shop that way. So you got your shopkeeping strategy, you've got your mechanics of combat, but then you also have the backpack mechanics. So there's a lot of cool stuff there where it's like, hey, if you put this artifact in the corner of your 8x8 grid, or I'm sorry, 2x8 grid, anything in the same row as it that's a battery is automatically destroyed, and that this consumes all of its value. And so when you go to sell this thing that you normally would make $50 off of, now you're making 5,000 off of it because you've been kind of gaming all the items in your backpack. Like there's been some cool shit where it's like every time you burn this artifact, it upgrades the level, or it upgrades to the artifact it's pointing at. I had one where it's like an epic where it's like, hey, anytime it burns an item, it just duplicates itself as this. So I made like 50,000 off of that run.
Sure.
And there's some really cool shit. And then you can also, am I going to do more of a foam build? Am I going to do more of a burn build? Am I going to do an electric build on this run? So you start to like map out, like I got this gun, I can get it to do 40% extra damage and hit foam, which it's going to pause them, slow them down. Oh, cool. Now my strong attack does plus 50% crit damage on anybody stuck. Awesome. I've just built an awesome build for this run. It's really good, man. I'm having such a good time with it. I could talk your ear off, but I'm just going to show it to you so you can kind of see how it plays, because I think that's really where it'll sell you.
Do you think that somebody should or has to play the original Moonlighter to
There's
get
some
the enjoyment out
stuff
of this, or
tied
to
to
not
it.
feel lost?
There is some stuff tied to it. Not a lot. Like there's little Easter egg stuff where like I was coming back from a run, because you also have a medallion that any point in the run, if you're feeling like I got a sliver of health, I've got some really good gear, I'm just going to head back now with it and count my losses, you can just teleport back. I teleported one time. It was a dude from the last game talking to me like, how did you end up here? It's like they do some shit like that, but other than that, no. I think it's also like a good beginning for people of this genre. Like I think it does enough other stuff to make it feel worth your time. And runs are relatively time respectful too. Like I think a run on average, even if I beat the boss, 20 to 30 minutes usually.
That's pretty good. Sure.
Yeah. So it's rad. You should definitely check it out with me. And I don't think it's on the Switch yet, but I'm pretty sure Moonlighters. I think I played Moonlighter on the Switch first.
Moonlighter is definitely on the Switch. I don't know about the second one though.
I think.
Well, I'm guessing it's not if it's an early access. But
yeah. I think this is just. I think it's on Xbox Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's out on the game preview there, but it's also on Steam currently. So
cool.
Two cool games, man, that I think both would probably get your attention if you see them in action.
Not too bad at all.
Not bad at all, man. What do you got going on?
I've been doing some gaming.
Good.
I finished Digimon Storytime Stranger, and okay. I finished it, but I did not see credits, and it is not my fault. I sent you a text, Bobby.
You did.
It was my last night of bowling. That's why we're back on Wednesdays now.
Yes,
but we had our final night of bowling, and I was thinking I might be able to finish Digimon right before I have to leave for that. And I was like, okay, this is the final boss. I know this is the final boss. I'm handling it. I go through this fight, and it takes like a good 45 minutes for this final boss fight. It was not a particularly difficult boss fight, but it was just a very long, arduous boss fight of healing, and new characters come in, and the boss has a bunch of shields, and it just a very long, drawn out fight. And I win the fight, and I'm starting to see the final cutscene. And then it fades to white before it goes into, I imagine, another cutscene. And then the game hard crashed. It said, "Do you want to
That's
like
why it's
send
not
the
on the
report to
Switch, man.
Sony?" Or yeah, it was. I was devastated because I was like, "Oh, I'm so close. I don't know where it's gonna put me now." But also, I was a little elated because I was like, "Oh, well, this is like the perfect time for me to leave for bowling, so I'm not late." And I
I'm
ended up
out.
not being late. That was great. But when I got back afterward, I loaded the game back up just to see. All right, where are you going to put me? Did you auto save after the boss fight? And I get to see this cutscene. Did I just miss the cutscene? I'll have to go watch it on YouTube. And the answer was, "Fuck you! You have to start the boss fight all over again. That's where we put you." And I
Oh
said,
my
"No, thank
god.
you. I'm good. I already did this fight. I didn't particularly enjoy this fight, and I think I'm done with this game." So I have put this to the side now. I am saying that I'm done.
Okay.
But in the spot that I'm in, right before the boss fight, you are allowed to basically just go and do all the side quest stuff and
Oh
continue
sure.
grinding
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And I think you get that opportunity again once you beat the game, and it goes into not necessarily a new game plus, but a post game. You have clear data, and then you get to continue doing that stuff. So I could go back and get my Digimon agent rank higher and get some of the higher level Digimon at this point. But I unlocked a bunch of my favorites. I did a bunch of stuff, and I think overall I enjoy that game, and I'm gonna have good feelings about it. But
Yeah.
there were a
I've
lot of
enjoyed it.
things about it that annoyed me. Um, Especially the later I got into it. I think the story took a bit of a nosedive near the end. I think that digivolving into the higher level Digimon, or just digivolving in general, became more of a chore than it needed to be, more of a chore than it had been in previous games. And the extra stuff you have to do to train your Digimon to get them in the right spot where they're ready to digivolve, I found that to be very clunky, certainly compared to the previous Digimon story games. And that just ended up adding hours and hours of extra time on that game of just messing through menus that could have been done more cleanly. So while I think I will still have warm feelings about it, there is certainly a part of me that goes, glad I'm done with that. Let's
Yeah.
get
Well, I
that out
mean,
of here.
yeah, that lets you get onto, non-monster catching type things, right?
Sure, sure. So I will say, we are going to talk about Pokemon Legends ZA here in a second, but I did try something else out in my
Ah,
little break between, and I thought, this has been on my Switch for a while. I talked it up during one of the monthly previews, and I have no other excuse. Let's give this a shot. So I opened up Spy Drops. Spy Drops, Bobby, is I can't remember who develops it, but it's a
is it
smaller
on
indie studio, I
Steam?
imagine. Yes, it's definitely on Steam. But the premise here is that, have you
Oh
played
yeah, I
Metal Gear
remember this.
Solid on the
Yep.
PlayStation 1? If the answer is yes, you know what Spy Drops is.
Yep.
It is kind of just that,
Yep.
and that's cool. It's aesthetically like that. It has that low poly original PlayStation look to it. The textures look real, perfectly muddy, like just the way you'd want them uh, to have that kind of experience. And it's also very Metal Gear Solid One in that it's a top down perspective,
Yep.
that you can like look further ahead. You can go into a first person mode to see, but the you can only like toggle the first person mode, so you're not able to stay in it. Um, and play the game that way. You have to play it from the top down perspective, and it's very much doing that spy stuff of getting out of people's vision cones and silently taking down people, interrogating people, getting your camera to take a photo of some guy's face. Like it's extremely just going through Shadow Moses Island again.
Yeah.
Now, I have not played Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. I was not a PlayStation 1 kid. So this was a bit of a new experience to me. I mean, I've watched the cutscenes. I know what happens in Metal Gear Solid 1. I enjoy the idea of it. but I'm not sure when I say I think Spy Drop sucks. If that is coming from somebody who is just ignorant to these kinds of games, or if this is just not a very good one.
It doesn't have the best reviews, and I think it's more like, hey, appreciate what it's going for, but the game needs way more time, or it's not. I mean, there's just a lot of not so great sentiment around this, it looks like.
That is generally where I am falling as well.
Yeah.
I think the visuals look pretty cool. I think the controls are pretty clunky. I find that the stealth is a little hard to pull off because it's not very clear when enemies can see you, when cameras can see you, and when they can't. One of the first things they do, I mentioned, like taking a photo of some guy's face. That is something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to confirm this guy is just in this building. It's literally the first mission they give you. And I crawled around to that guy. I crawled in front of the desk he's standing in front of, and I was able to like take out my camera and take a photo. I can see his face, and it didn't complete the mission for me. So I don't know if I was doing it wrong. I clearly took a photo that had this guy's face in it, and the game just kind of didn't say anything. It didn't say I accomplished my mission. Yeah.
The real problem is I don't know why I have such a visceral aversion to these games that are trying to ape that style of video game. Like I love, for some reason, like the 8-bit, 16-bit pixel art shit. Like I think there's something really cool about it. I think that this game looks terrible. Visually, it looks awful. And I just do not like the PS1 like retro games that are kind of it now. And like I have to remember that 20 years ago, the pixel art shit was really hot. And I'm old yelling at clouds on this one, man, but I do not like the way these games look at all.
I think that's fair. I think it's a much harder aesthetic to pull off well.
Yeah.
I think there are games that can pull it off well and have pulled it off well, of doing really sharp, low poly stuff that makes you go back and you think that's what it looked like back in the day, right? And then you go back and play one of those games, you go, oh god, this looks terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad they fixed it. In the same way that, saying, Shovel Knight probably is just the way that all those NES games look, and then you go back to an NES game, like, oh no, Shovel Knight does some incredible stuff with its pixel art and its parallax scrolling and all that stuff that
100%.
the NES couldn't even dream of. I think Spy Drops is close. I don't think it nails it, but I think it is close on the aesthetics. It gives me those warm and fuzzies about that era, but then I start playing it and I go,
yeah.
There were a lot of clunky games back in the day too, and while I think I can get over aesthetics that are not perfect, I cannot get over gameplay that feels bad. Yep. And that is really the killing blow on this one, is that I think it just feels bad. And it's kind of a bummer because I think there's a bones of a pretty good game in here, but I'm just really not going to get to see it because
just play the Snake Eater,
play all that well. I'm not going to do that. I might just watch the cutscenes of Metal Gear Solid 1 again and be okay with it.
Well, maybe we can stream some Snake Eater in the future.
I would be interested in watching you play the Snake Eater Delta. That'd be interesting to me. All right. Then I did move on to Pokemon Legends ZA. I don't like this game, Bobby.
Yeah, I have no interest to go back to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I'm not I'm in the like D, maybe rank D.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I have like almost no desire to go back and play this. And it's kind of scary because I've not felt great about a lot of the recent Pokemon games, man.
Yep. Well, I've got about 10 hours in it. I'm in rank F. But that is not accurate to like how much I've played, because you mentioned it before too, but I will mention it here. When you have a game that is saying Z to A and there's a whole tournament about your rank Z, and you're going to go up to rank A, you're like, okay, 26 big battles, can't wait to see it. And the answer is no. You go from Z all the way to V, and then the game goes, it's not really convenient for us to have you play all this. What if we got you up to F
Yep.
immediately? Like you go from V to F in the most bullshit way.
Yep.
And the game's just like, okay, well, keep going then. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know, dude.
Okay. To set the stage a little bit, I know we've talked about it before, but Pokemon Legends ZA, this is a sequel to Pokemon Legends Arceus, which we both really liked, and which switched up the Pokemon gameplay formula quite a bit because it was real time in a way. The battles in Legends Arceus were still turn based, but the battles were very much not the important part of the game. It was about exploring and catching, and I really liked that aspect of it. It had new alpha Pokemon, which are just big, just big versions of
Big
the
versions.
of the Pokemon that you've seen before. They had big glowing red eyes. You're like, I gotta have them all. Those are so cool. And this game is now set in Kalos, or specifically in Lumiose City from Gen 5, which is where they introduced Mega Evolution. So this game is all about Mega Evolution, which I think is cool. Mega Evolution was a big step. People are really excited about it. It brought back a lot of excitement for old Pokemon designs that now I felt better about using a Charizard. I want to play with the new Pokemon every time I play a Pokemon game and see what the new ones are like. I don't want to just keep going back to the same ones every single time. But now I could go back and use that Charizard because I've got the Mega Stone for it. So it's like I'm playing with a brand new Pokemon. That's so cool. And this game adds a bunch of new Mega Evolutions that I think is interesting. I think a lot of those designs are bad, but I still think it is pretty interesting that you've added some new Mega Stones and expanded more on that.
Yeah.
The biggest problem that I have is I do not like the city of Lumiose City.
Yeah.
There
Fair.
was something about Legends Arceus where you were in this ancient Sinnoh. The world was still like figuring things out. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff
wild.
built up. Yeah, it was the whole areas were the wild area, and you had one kind of town that was starting to figure things out. It was mostly a village, but the rest of it was just this wild, untamed, unexplored area. Go out there and find some Pokemon, and I think that worked way better than this idea of here's the city. Some parts of it are cordoned off to be these wild zones where some Pokemon are, but there's only like 7 different species in each little zone that they've made. I don't love that. I don't love the way that the game is split up into these daytime and nighttime things. It actually reminds me a whole lot of playing Need for Speed Heat, where it was during the daytime you do your training stuff, and during the nighttime you're racing for pink slips or whatever. And this game kind of does that too, of during the day, you're going out and you're finding the wild Pokemon and catching them and maybe doing some quests. And then at nighttime, it's all about battling, and you gotta battle everybody. And that's when you're doing your rank up missions. And the timing of this is, it's not real time. It's not like playing Pokemon Gold and Silver where it's going to keep a clock for you.
But the daytime,
it's a clock that just runs.
Yep.
And it runs quickly. Like it goes from day to night quick, and then it goes from night to day quick. And I just don't feel like I've ever get to sit down and enjoy the game that I'm trying.
I'm telling you, man. Like I said, it was Pokemon Paint by Numbers, and I went like I had a lot of feelings. Like, do I like this game? Yeah, I think I do like it quite a bit. Do I hate this game? I don't know if I hate it. Well, maybe I do. And the more I've spent time with it, the more I just kind of get pissed off because it's so uninteresting. That's the best way I can say it. It's just like the most, it's nothing new Pokemon wise outside of changing the combat up, which is lazy.
Yeah. Well, that is like the big selling feature, right? Is that we've changed the combat here. Combat is a much bigger deal. Legends Arceus had combat, but it didn't really matter. They changed it up a little bit in that some moves had different speeds. But so you could have some Pokemon that could use their moves faster than other ones. but it didn't really change the way battling worked all that much, and it didn't really matter because battling was such a small part of the game to begin with. In
Right.
this game, battling is much more the focus, and it's something that you are engaging with much more because half of the game is being played at night where you're supposed to be uh, doing these battles. And when the last time we talked about this, I was talking about how excited I was about the battle, or had changed my mind about the battling, the real time
Yep.
battling. That I thought it was really interesting now that you could recontextualize these moves, and a move like toxic spikes now works in a different way than it worked
Hmm.
before, and now there's all new strategies, and maybe I have to play this game completely differently, and that's very exciting. And when I start playing it and getting into the battles, I realize that the positioning is a lot. It's like they're trying to say positioning matters, but then not giving you the tools to really make it matter.
Yep.
You cannot move your Pokemon. You can only move yourself. And then you can tell your Pokemon to use a move, and there will be preset spots that your Pokemon can use that move from. If it's a ranged move, you kind of tell it, okay, you come here now. You don't get to really pick the spot. It's just somewhere near you, and it'll use that move from that spot. Or you can use a close-up move like a Thunder Fang or a Thunder Punch or something like that, and it will just run up to the opposing Pokemon, and use the move against it. So there's much less of, hey, Toxic Spikes is really cool because I can put that down, and now me and the Pokemon have to avoid the spikes as we go and do our battles. That's not really the case. You kind of just run around them as your character. The running around almost doesn't matter because outside of some wild battles, the Pokemon are never attacking you directly, so it's a little pointless that you get to move around. And then the Pokemon themselves, you don't get to position them, so you don't really get to make fun decisions or fun strategic choices of, oh, I got to make sure I get out of that fire. I got to make sure I got to walk away from these spikes before I go and do
Yeah.
this attack. And it just makes, I think battling feels really bland, and
It
I'm
does.
just hitting all the buttons for cooldowns, and I'm just not having a great time.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like lost its luster for me in a lot of ways, and I am going to say it here, and I'm going to stick to it. I think my days of pre-ordering Pokemon games are behind me,
I think that's smart.
and yeah, like they're gonna have. I think they're gonna need to either just like commit to the route they're on, which is like making Pokemon for newer generations, which is totally fine and okay, but there's other franchises they have that have found ways to be just as relevant to people who grew up with it as is to new players. And Pokemon is it's making way too much money to be this lazy. And I hate it. So
Well, I mean, and that's the really disappointing thing, is that this was supposed to be the series that was the fresh and new thing, and it
oh,
does
they
feel
crashed and
kind of
burned.
lazy. And I don't love that. I think there's some stuff that I still enjoy. I think it's really cool to walk around the city and see Pokemon interacting with their trainers. Like
Yeah.
all you can't catch any of those that are like just in the city that are hanging out. Like those are trainers Pokemon, but they have they have more animations to them. It feels real that these people are actually with their partners and hanging around and doing stuff during in the city, and that feels cool. It gives you this sense of immersion. But then you get into an actual battle and it feels bad, and I'm not having a really great time with that. I think there's some cool character designs. I actually really like all the clothing options that you're given. I've been able to make a trainer that I really like, which was not the case in Scarlet and Violet. I hated all of the outfit options you had in that. They all looked fucking terrible. But I think you got a lot of cool options for um, for ZA.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I think I'll probably continue playing this game from like a sick sense of of masochism, maybe, or
You're
just
terrible.
like the slight parts that
There's too
interest
many
me
good
are
games you're
enough.
not playing to play that.
That's true. That's true. But I am still curious about some of the things in this game, and I
Yeah,
want to
that's
try
fine.
them out. I like that they brought the alpha Pokemon back because I care about alpha Pokemon, but also it feels a little weird in a game that is so worried about mega evolution that now you have the alpha Pokemon as well, and sometimes that those two don't really mix. Like I want to get alphas, but I also want to get alphas of Pokemon that can mega evolve, and that's
I
it's competing things that I don't think needed to be there.
Well, maybe there's something coming out in a few weeks that you'll enjoy.
Could be. You wanna talk about it?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, first things first, before we get into the month of December, we have to wrap up the month of November. And that means seeing what our recap was. Bobby, you had a number of games that you picked for the month of November. You had The Last Caretaker. How'd that end up?
Good. It's really cool. It's early access. I've been working on that ship as the robot. I haven't gotten terribly far into it, but definitely checked it out. Haven't talked about it here yet because I wanted to put a little bit more time in it, but early impressions seem good.
Sounds good. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, where you just talked about tonight. You had Where Winds Meet. I don't remember that one at all.
This is that one that was going to be on mobile as well. I downloaded it. I made a character. I started to play it, and I saw, oh, you're wanting all, like, this is like one of the grossest free to play games I've ever seen in my life. But it looks really pretty, but no. Yeah.
Tell me about Possessors. Did you end up playing that?
We did. We talked about it on here. It's very okay. It's in a year of Silk Song and a year of Hades. You have to do more in that genre to stand out. And unfortunately, I don't think Heart Machine did enough there. It's good. It's fine. Like, it's cool looking, very pretty, but
Yeah. I mean, that was also on my list, and I didn't end up picking it up. I didn't hear anybody really talking about it.
I think they're going to be in a
plenty of
tough
other stuff
spot,
to play.
man. I think Heart Machine's not long for this world.
That does kind of seem the case, which is a bummer. You had Unbeatable. How's that?
Not out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for the December preview here in a second. And then your big one, of course, is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
That's honestly why I stopped playing Pokemon. And
well, that's fair. You're a big fan of that. I know you've been enjoying.
It's
that
been
quite
really
a bit,
good.
So
really, really good. You should just play that instead.
Good. I should, but I think if I was going to just play another Dynasty Warriors alike, I would either play another route in Dynasty Warriors Origins, or I would play the Fire Emblem one.
That's fair.
The three hopes. Like I said, I also had Possessors on my list and didn't end up playing it. And speaking of games that I had on my list and didn't end up playing, the Fable manga build roguelike, which
that one.
I kind of knew that wasn't necessarily going to be a great game, but I was interested in it because of the aesthetics and
what did that look
like? I wonder how it ended up from like a review standpoint.
It's got very positive reviews.
That's cool. Maybe I'll treat myself.
There's a demo on Steam.
Yeah, that's pretty compelling. So I'll have to give that a shot. All right, let's move on to PlayStation Plus. What can you get for PS Plus Essentials? It's December, and they're giving you a little bit extra. So now we're getting 5 games for this month. Pretty cool. And the first one is Lego Horizon Adventures for PS5.
You know, at free, I think I'll check it out.
At free, that's a pretty good price.
Yeah. At free, sure. I'll check it out.
Killing Floor 3 for PS5.
Never been a big fan of those, but people seem to like them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've been able to make 3 of them, but that's not a thing for me. The Outlast Trials. I think that's also a horror kind of thing.
I think it's very horror multiplayer co-op survival horror. Yeah, this thing looks like it would just really fuck you up.
I ain't playing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Even at free.
Sin Duality, Echo of Ada.
That's
kind of like a.
It came out in January. It's Max Looter Shooter PvP. Oh yeah, we talked about this one.
We did.
It looks cool.
About that. It's got mixed reviews on Steam. Free's not a terrible price.
I like the design. Yeah,
that might be worth checking out. And then
some shitty game that nobody likes.
Yeah, Neon White, for both PS4 and PS5. Outlast Trials is also PS4, PS5. Neon White, what was that? My 2024 game of the year?
Yes. Believe it or
Yes.
not, if you can believe it.
I thought that game was pretty cool.
That game is cool. It's very cool.
Story stuff was a little off, but I liked playing that video game, and now you can play it too for free on PlayStation.
It's a hell of a pick.
Plus,
That's probably that is worth it for sure. That's a very cool game, especially at free.
Yeah. Bobby, what say we skip the wheel this month? I've got plenty of other stuff I'm cramming. Yeah, cramming for Game of the Year. No need to gum it up with that as well. So we'll just move.
You're only playing new games at this time anyway. You're new games, new chase. That's what I like to say.
That's not really true. I actually really want to go back to the Fire Emblem Sacred Echoes.
Oh, fair.
So I need to finish that because I was having a lot of fun with that, but I felt like I got to put all my time into Digimon, and now that I'm done with Digimon, I'm free to go back if I want to. All right, let's move into this on the first. This is already out. Marvel Cosmic Invasion for PC, Switch, Switch 2, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is the side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's got some real like X-Men arcade nostalgia to it.
It looks the part, man.
This is some really nice pixel art.
Yes, dude. It looks very good.
I know I'm very much not a superhero guy anymore, but I do. I certainly am nostalgic for those old Marvel beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
and
man.
This one has some real style. It looks like there's a ton of characters in here. You know, you're fighting Venom at one point, but then it looks like Venom is also a playable character at one point, and that's exciting to me. But tons of characters from a ton of different Marvel properties. I think that's pretty cool. The problem is we've tried playing some of these modern beat 'em ups, and they're fun enough, but they're just not fun to play.
Play Absalom. Just play Absalom, dude.
Sure, yeah, you should just kind of play Absalom.
Just play fucking Absalom. It's so goddamn good. And
that is probably better from a single player perspective than playing one of these.
Yes, but, if there's a crew of people and you're drinking some beers or gin and tonics, yes, it would be fun.
Sure, I mean, and that was the case with like the TMNT, the new one of those, the Scott Pilgrim, the new one of those. Like those games are out there and they're fun if you have a dedicated group of people to jump in and have a good time with. But I think if you're trying to play this solo, like Bobby said, maybe try Absalom instead. That might be a little bit more what you're looking for. On the second, also out right now, is Simogo Legacy Collection for PC, Switch, and Switch 2. This is a nice package of video games. Seven video games here. Simogo, I didn't know most of these games, but I did know Yearwalk. Yearwalk is the one where they became pretty well known. That was a phone game that
Device 6 was big on the phone too. I'm pretty sure.
Device 6 was their follow up to Yearwalk, but both of those games felt like they had some real like they really broke through and felt like this is what mobile games could be. They could be so much more than just the little puzzle games we've seen, and maybe they could be really interesting and tell stories and do some incredible aesthetic stuff. So both of those games are in this collection, along with a handful of other ones. I think this seems neat. Like if for no other reason to grab this just to get Yearwalk and Device 6, I bet both of those play pretty decently on a Switch and probably play pretty decently on a PC as well.
Yeah, agreed.
So go check those out. On the third, Let It Die Inferno comes to PC and PS5. I remember when the first Let It Die was announced, thinking this is a fun aesthetic. I liked Uncle Death. I liked the whole idea of what was going on, and then I saw the video game. I saw like what you actually do in the game, and that it was this kind of roguelike-y permadeath thing. And I went, oh no, this isn't for me at all.
Souls-like. Also, I think there's been some reports. I was looking this one up when you put on the list. Apparently, this thing is like riddled with AI assets and stuff.
Oh, that's even worse.
Like I think it's just chock full of that stuff. So do with that information what you will. But yeah, this is just not my type of thing on multiple levels, and hearing some of the shit about how it's being made, no thank you.
Yeah, that's a real bummer.
Yep.
Let's just move on to the 4th. For us, that's tomorrow. For you, if you're listening on Friday, then that was yesterday. But Metroid Prime 4 Beyond comes to Switch and Switch 2. Bobby, I know you're pretty excited for this one, so I'll let
Yeah,
you have the
man.
floor.
I've not beaten every one of these games. I want to call that out right now, but I am excited about this game. It's been buzzed about for 14 years. Reviews are out. It is pretty popular. I have this thing downloaded and ready to play. I'm going to hopefully crack it open here in about an hour and start to see what this game's doing. I'm really excited. This is going to be the first Joy-Con as a mouse game I play. I'm going to play this one with a mouse on my desktop here.
Sure.
And see how that's going. I think it's going to be cool. I think it looks and plays really well from what I'm hearing. I like Metroid a whole lot. I think Metroid's a cool character. And the Prime games
Samus is the character.
Well, sorry, yes, Samus is a cool character.
Why can't Metroid crawl? Is the classic
Link and Zelda.
Yes,
but no, I am a little unsure about the motorcycle. I hope it's not overly complicated and foreign in this type of game. They are introducing
from what I'm seeing here in the trailer stuff. I bet it's going to be a little bit Tears of the Kingdom in that you are just kind of using the motorcycle to get from place to place, or maybe even a better one is like the King of Red Lions, where you're just taking this to go from place to place. I think it's interesting that you have Metroid, a series that is very much about tight spaces and corridors, and like very intricate little places, and very claustrophobic places. And this game goes, what if there was a big desert and you were on a motorcycle? So I wonder how much there is going to be in this kind of overworld area that they're showing here. But it looks like you will get into some. It looks like it's more than just going in and doing shrines from Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Like there is real dungeons that you're going into.
On top of that, they also introduce a sidekick that is apparently kind of annoying, but also
wow, they did make a Zelda game just with Samus.
They absolutely did. Telekinesis is an ability that you get in this one, and so there's a whole new element to these, but seems to be pretty all right. I will report back on this sometime next week. Maybe we'll stream this sometime soon as well. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I've never been a Metroid guy, but I find the aesthetics of Metroid interesting. I find some of the choices they've made to be pretty cool. And I'd be interested to see how this one goes. You really liked the last one, right? You really liked Dread, which is certainly not Dread. Metroid Prime. It's
I thought Dread was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man.
On that same day, Octopath Traveler 0 comes to PC, Switch, Switch 2, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Man, I get bummed out every time I hear anything about Octopath. Because on one hand, they should be my shit. Like they are like the HD 2D aesthetically so cool.
It's the Bravely Default combat.
Okay, kinda, sure.
Yeah, absolutely is.
I've just never enjoyed the battling. The enemies feel like they took so many hits. I didn't really like the first Octopath Traveler. I played the demo of Octopath Traveler 2 and really hated it to the point that I kind of swore off the series at that point. And while this one looks okay, I'm not going to get bit again.
The reviews are saying it's pretty damn good. I think the town building stuff is fine from what they say. The combat feels really good in this one. I've heard people say like this is like the most fully realized one of these yet. We'll see. Like, I don't think I'm going to play it at this point. I got too much else. I'm just like invest, and it's long. It's like over 100 hours. So
sure. Yeah. This is a proper JRPG. That's going to take you forever. And I'm sure the town building just pads that out even more. Honestly, I think the town building's a cool idea, and I see why they went that direction. I think it has made the actual aesthetics of the areas a lot blander.
Sure.
Because they have to have open space for these new buildings to come in. And I think just the world design kind of took a hit to accommodate some of that stuff. I don't know. I think this is one of the worst looking HD 2D games I've seen
I'm a little
from just
fatigued of that
visuals.
too.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it's not nearly as novel as it once was.
Yeah, I think if I considered playing this game, I would just go back and play more Dragon Quest III HD2D, which I
Well,
should be
there's
doing
the
anyway.
one that's coming out, the Zelda one, Elliot or Adventures of Elliot
Yeah,
or something.
Adventures of Elliot. Yeah, and I liked that demo. I thought that demo was kind of
I'm
cool.
really excited for that one. But we'll cross that bridge next year.
Yep. On the 5th, Flotsam comes to PC. This game has been in early access since 2019, so I don't exactly know what the 1.0 means. But this I like these visuals. I think
this
looks
cool.
really cool.
When I was like, oh fuck, this has been out on early access. Let me Flotsam.
Yeah, this
25
is extremely
bucks
a Bobby game for sure.
Early access base building colony sim sandbox cute, it says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like building a colony, but the colony can move because you're all on water, so you're
sail,
floating around
scavenge, and rescue survivors in a vibrant floating city. Cool.
Yeah, that has Bobby P's written all over.
I know, dude. This is one where it's like, is this going to be my like late in the year Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop? Like who the fuck knows?
Could be.
I'll add that to cart.
Moving on to the 8th, Skate Story comes to PC, Mac, Switch 2, and PS5. This just looks incredible. This is a gorgeous looking game.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
you played the demo
I
and
did.
we're pretty excited about it. Right?
It's got some cool stuff going on. I think you'll like this one a whole lot, man. I read your note on it, and I think based on what we talked about when I discussed the demo from the Next Fest and what I think you're looking for out of a skate game at this point in your life, I think you are good. And I told you it reminded me of Children of the Sun, and I think that element alone will probably carry you pretty far. But this is a Devolver with a capital D video game, my friend. And
I want to try this. I'm thinking maybe it's probably smarter for this one to play it on PS5 for me than to play it on Switch 2.
Big time.
I think that's where I'm going to have the most enjoyment. So I will potentially give that a shot.
Yeah, man.
On the 9th, Death Howl.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious to hear what you think.
Yeah, for sure. On the 9th, Death Howl comes to PC. Bobby, I'm gonna throw this over to you then. You tell me about Death Howl.
Yeah, man. I've played this one a little bit. It's been there's been some demos and shit that's come out for this. I think that it's not. I did not get the big Elden Ring or From Soft vibes that it's trying. Like it's getting compared to.
Yeah, I mean, this game is being sold as a Souls-like deck builder, which to me sounds awful. But
I think it's just a very dark, very gothic, very folk. It is challenging. Like you got to be smart, but I think this is kind of your shit. Like you like a good strategy, 100%, and like the bonfire stuff's there. I had a mid-boss battle with it. It's cool, dude. It is a cool game. I don't know how long that feeling lasts in one of these, but Death Howl is fucking rad. It's something that I think it's been on my wish list since I did the demo. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, sounds good to me. Also on the 9th, maybe, hopefully, finally, Unbeatable comes to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Obviously, we've covered this before. It got delayed. This seems like it's really coming out now, and again, this game looks and sounds great. I know the rhythm part is going to be a hard sell for me to just like that's not a genre I particularly love, but everything else about this game I adore. And you seem to be pretty into it too, right, Bobby?
Yeah, man. Like I picked it in November, and spoiler, I picked it again in December. So still picking.
All right, sounds good to me. On the 12th, Terminator 2D No Fate comes.
I couldn't remember if this was the arcade one that I liked playing as a kid.
No, I believe this is a brand new video game.
Oh, okay.
But it is trying to evoke older video games.
Oh, this is just Contra.
Sure. Yeah, basically. So this is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. We've seen kind of throwbacks before that have done this kind of thing. I believe there was a Mummy game. I don't know if it was made by the same people or not, but it's very odd that this movie that is from so long ago, even though it's still a beloved movie, this movie from so long ago is getting this licensed video game like it's been unearthed from the vault. But this is a new thing.
Bitmap Burrow. They did.
That's the dev.
Yeah, they did 88 Heroes, Ninja Showdown, Battle Axe, Xenocrisis, and Final Vendetta are other games that they've had out.
All right. I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's fun that
sure.
Here's this video game that feels like it was, buried and just never came out, and we're getting to see what this hidden gem was. And even though it's a modern game, I also just like the idea of taking this older kind of aesthetic and giving modern sensibilities to it in the same way that we talked about Shovel Knight earlier.
Yeah.
There's something cool about it. Like seeing this pixel art, but seeing it with this level of animation detail is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
I just don't give a shit about the Terminator, and I know that I don't particularly like this genre of video game, so I will not be playing it, but I applaud them on what they've been able to accomplish here.
Yeah, this looks cool. I think people will probably enjoy this.
Yeah.
Whether that's us or not, TBD.
Yeah. And now we've got a big gap where we don't know stuff that's coming out. I did pull a couple of games from the unreleased, from the here's your big list at the end of the Wikipedia page that says, hey, these games were scheduled for 2025, but they haven't come out yet. So who knows? Maybe in December, but more likely these games are probably not coming out until next year. So we'll say a TBD on Beastie Ball here, which is coming to PC and Mac. This is listed as a Q4 for a 1.0 release, but again, we'll see about that. This is that Pokemon / volleyball.
Yeah, I like the look of this
concept. I can't remember who develops this, but I think they've made some other cool stuff as well. But I really dig what's going on here.
You can buy it right now. There's a demo.
Yeah, there's like a demo and like early access, right? But I think the 1.0 was supposed to be this year.
Yeah, it's out right now for that. It's got really good reviews. This is made by Wishes. They've made Beastie Ball. Oh shit, dude. They did Chicory.
Oh, okay. That's
and they did Wander Song, Coin Crypt. Dude, Chicory fucking ruled.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of that one.
Yeah, this is out.
Is it out or it's out in early access?
This is out in early access.
Okay.
They balance changes, upcoming milestone number 3. So they just put an update out. Let me see what this says really quick. There's nothing on here talking about like a 1.0.
Well, it's extremely possible that the Wikipedia page that I pull from doesn't get updated on some of these things, probably especially with the unreleased games. So who knows? But I put it in here just because it was listed as Q1 or Q4 for this 1.0. But anyway,
nice.
Keep your eye out for Beastie Ball, I suppose.
There's a demo. Also, I'm gonna download the demo.
Okay. And then also, again, we've mentioned Shovel Knight a couple times tonight. Mina the Hollower was originally supposed to come out on Halloween for PC, Switch, Switch 2, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Obviously, it didn't. Now it is listed as Q4, but again, I'm going to guess that this is probably a 2026 video game.
I think so.
Yeah, makes sense to me. But like this trailer that we're seeing was the release date trailer, and it mentions October.
You know what
31st.
I could see happening at this point? I could see Game Awards.
That's possible. This could certainly be like a stealth drop.
Yacht Club's got that type of reverence, I think.
Yeah, totally. I could see Jeff Keighley going, "Hey, it'd be really cool to have not just another third-person action game in my big lineup of announcements. What if I had like a fun little indie game that has a good pedigree behind it?" That seems like a business decision Jeff Keighley would do. So hold out hope for that possibly. But Mina the Hollower, we know it's somewhere on its way.
I'll just read this really. Oh well, I don't know why it went to. YouTube continued.
I see.
They say here, Yacht Club said, we don't want to announce another release date until it's submitted to platforms. So please hang tight as we reach the finish line. The game is very much like emphasized here, so close to being done. We're playing it from start to finish every day in the final hours. This is what the crew is working on. The finalizing design, overall game balance, implementing localization, eating cheese, and testing. So do with that information what you will.
Silksong came out this year, so anything's possible.
Anything is possible, Chase, including us having more games to get through in December.
That's true. That was our list of the games that are coming out this month. Again, have to imagine that the Game Awards are going to be having some kind of announcements of some stuff that probably drops then, or if not the Game Awards, people stealth drop stuff at the end of the year for sure.
Totally.
Look forward to more video games. We'll try to mention any that seem particularly spicy when we do our Game Awards wrap up coverage. But until then, we've got to make a couple picks for the month. Bobby, what do you have on your list?
Unbeatable, Death Howl, Skate Story, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond.
Those all make sense to me. I have just Skate Story. I know myself now. I'm probably not playing a heck of a lot in December. That's not cramming for Game of the Year stuff. But Skate Story does appeal to me, and I want to see if that game is
I wonder if it's good on the Switch too. I know you can take it with you whenever you travel for holiday stuff.
Yeah, it's possible. I think I'm gonna want to play that with the DualShock and not my Pro controller.
Probably true.
I think that, and certainly I don't think I want to play that game in handheld mode.
Probably
play
true.
That on a big TV. So I think PS5 probably makes the most sense for me. Even though there is a case why I should play it on Switch.
Fair.
Bobby, that's it. That's the month of December. We are wrapped. Those are all the video games coming out this year.
That's crazy, man. Nice job this year. Thanks for keeping us with games to play. Without you, I would not be doing much. So I appreciate you helping me find new stuff to play. These are always some of my favorite things we do, and you did a nice job with this one. If you want to know more about what we do, you can follow all those links there. As we teased earlier in the episode, Chase and I played, Chase watched some Arc Raiders on Monday night. You can go and tune in for that. Tonight was our December preview, and this Friday is when you can find the audio of this. But these are the episodes you should go and watch. So if you're listening to this, pause, hang up, come back, whatever you want to do. Go watch the trailer so you know what we're talking about here. And as I also alluded to, next week, we are going to be streaming on Monday. We will have the Game Awards on Thursday, so we'll be back on Thursdays next week reacting to that. And then the week after, our Game of the Year show all week long. And then we're taking some time off. So that's what you can do with the casual hour. But in between all that, in case you just can't get enough of us, Chase has a lot more goodness for you here. Chase, what are you up to?
Well, today another episode of Chase K Plays went up on my YouTube channel.
Hell yeah.
Playing through Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and a series called Go Play a Star Wars. That's been great. I think I've basically wrapped up Dantooine at this point. There's just one more mission I'm going to do at the very beginning of that next episode, but then I'm going to get off that planet. I'm a Jedi now, and I'm going to go cause some havoc. I'm playing a dark side run, which I haven't done before.
Ooh, fun.
And it's been good and bad. It's been fun to be bad, but also some of it's like, man, this is really fucking lame. Like, you got to do some very cringe, lame dark side stuff, and it's like I want to be like cool manipulator guy, and this is like, I think I should kill you and take all your money. And like, okay, I guess that's dark side, but it's not exactly the dark side I'm looking to be.
Chris Angel, dark side.
God, okay. And then also a new episode of Pilot Program with Chris Porshane that got recorded last night. I think there's some good discussion there of the TV show Friday Night Lights, and and the movie Friday Night Lights as well. We talked about both of them, and I got to go edit that at some point and hopefully get that up by the end of this week. And then our next episode, which I think we're going to be recording in January, is going to be on Star Trek, the original series. So that'll be interesting. That's I haven't watched the original series before. I've only watched some of TNG, so I don't exactly know what to expect with Star Trek, but I'm sure that'll be a fun conversation as well.
You're about to put yourself into a weird way, you're going to start watching all the Star Treks after this.
I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be cool if it did. I would be pleasantly surprised if I become a Trekkie after all this. Yeah,
Trekkie after all.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's just another Chase. No, and Chase will have a new podcast about something else. Like, hey, I'm into this now, and I'm watching these episodes in a very peculiar order that have hacks in them, and you got to do it this way. See,
that sounds like
he's going to gamify Star Trek. Everybody, you heard it here first. He's going to have a wheel for it. He's going to have mods on
the wheel of Trek.
The wheel of Trek. All right. Anything else that you've been doing?
Sure. Yeah, I've got my Magic the Gathering
I'm not letting
channel.
You have to talk about it.
It's called Common Knowledge MTG. I'm looking at common Magic the Gathering cards that are played for the Pauper format, which is a 60 card constructed format, but you can only use common cards. No uncommons, no rares, no mythics. It's a whole lot of fun. It's actually my favorite way to play Magic, and I just wanted to look at cards and tell you if they're good or not, and tell you what decks they could be a part of. So that's been a whole lot of fun. I recorded my 57th episode tonight. So I've been doing a lot.
Crazy.
They air every weekday. They're like 15 to 30 minutes max, and they've been a whole lot of fun. So I've got a ton of them in the can. I've got them recorded and ready to go through Christmas at this point. So that's been a fun thing to just kind of do on the side and let them roll.
Damn. Well, lots of content from both of us here. Tune in where you can. We will be back live on Monday with a game